Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about the chronic pain condition, CRPS, which is the condition I was diagnosed with in September 2018. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So what is CRPS? CRPS is, as mentioned, a chronic pain condition. It stands for Complex Regional Pain Syndrome, and it's rated 42 out of 50 on the McGill Pain Index, which means it's actually more painful than childbirth and even an amputation of a finger, and it means it's the most painful chronic pain condition that is known. So some symptoms, one of the main ones is that you're very hypersensitive to touch and pressure, temperature, and you can even be sensitive to sound. So these are called hyperallergenia and allodynia. And you can also have like strange sensations, altering changes to the skin, so the skin goes from being red and hot to being cold and blue. You can have changes in your hair and your nail growth, and joint stiffness, muscle spasms, and it can even cause osteoporosis, which is when your bones become more fragile. So obviously it has some quite serious symptoms and side effects. So my main symptoms was that I had allodynia and hyperallergenia. I'm probably pronouncing those wrong. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trained to be a doctor. I'm doing a business degree. And I also occasionally have quite bad muscle spasms in my legs. I also have difficulty moving my foot and joint stiffness, but again that's partly related to my club foot. It's quite difficult to discern what's CRPS and what's actually down to side effects of my surgeries and things like that. If you haven't checked out my club foot video above in the eye. And then CRPS mainly affects just one limb, but it can spread and it can affect like organs and things as well. So my pain is actually localized to my left foot and ankle, although I get pain like around my knee and things because of how I walk, and that's again related to my club foot. So CRPS sometimes follows an injury or surgery, so in my case it was surgery, but it can occur completely randomly with no injury, no obvious cause in some cases, but those are obviously more rare than the ones that are caused by breaking your bone, that kind of thing. And there's two types of CRPS. So the two types of CRPS are type 1 and type. So type 1 occurs with no known nerve damage related to the cause of your CRPS. So you've had like a fracture, something that wouldn't cause like nerve damage, and that occurs in around 90% of people with CRPS and is known as RSD. Type 2 is actually related with nerve damage, and so that occurs when there's been injuries to the nerves, and that was referred to, I think, as causasia, something like that, but now they're both bracketed together as CRPS. I've actually not been told what type of CRPS that I have, partly because I've been diagnosed but not for that long, and also I haven't seen a pain specialist. I was diagnosed by my orthopedic surgeon, so but I've been told that the area that I have my CRPS may have nerve damage to it because of the amount of surgeries I've had in that particular area. So there's a possibility that it's either type 1 or type 2. So in terms of like treatment, there isn't a known cure for CRPS, so you can't be cured from it like other than that kind of thing. And once developing it, there's only a small chance that the condition can go into something called remission. And remission means that the patient has like no symptoms. It's as if they haven't had the disease, but a new injury or something like that could trigger the condition to happen again, or you can develop it back again. But it's really dependent on early diagnosis and treatment, which is actually difficult to achieve because it's quite difficult to diagnose CRPS. You pretty much have to rule out every single other problem. In fact, I had CRPS ruled out as a diagnosis back at the beginning of my chronic pain story. I'm going to do another video on how I actually developed chronic pain and then onwards to CRPS, because I actually had chronic pain before I had my diagnosis of CRPS. So treatment is actually fairly difficult for CRPS because it's in its name, it's complex pain syndrome, so it's actually quite complex to treat. So it involves self-management, physical rehabilitation, pain relief and psychological support. So for me, I've had to learn to pace myself because overexertion can cause flares in my pain, and I've been very used to just pushing on and keeping on doing, and that will actually just make me worse, and flares can then turn into more pain, and that more pain stays at the pain level that it's at. So I also use desensitization as a tool to control my pain. Especially when I was first diagnosed, I was finding it very hard to sleep with even a duvet over my foot because it was so sensitive. Like brushing against a duvet was absolute agony. So I actually I have these really cute little bottles of body lotion, and if I remember 2 or 3 times a day, I'm very good at forgetting. I rub this on my foot, which in the area where I have my allodynia and hypersensitivity to things, I rub it on, and that kind of teaches your nerves to calm down a little bit and things, but that's helped reduce my pain quite a bit. And I also use lidocaine patches, which are these. They come in a packet like this, you cut them open, and they come in big patches, but I cut mine down into halves, partly so that I can extend the use of them because they're very expensive to prescribe, and also because the area where I need to treat it the most is kind of around about this size, slightly bigger than this, but around about this size. And then so that's helped get my hypersensitivity kind of back under control, so I can now tolerate wearing shoes, I can tolerate socks, and I can tolerate a duvet, which actually quite a lot of people with CRPS can't. I'm lucky in the sense that I've managed to get that side of my pain under control. So I also take paracetamol, ibuprofen and codeine when I need it, and this is mainly at night or if I'm in a flare. So if I'm in a flare, I'll quite often take quite high doses of painkillers throughout the day to keep my pain under control, but then again you have the side effects to that, which means that I'm pretty much unable to get out of bed because I physically can't concentrate and function very well at all. And so I use those only pretty much when I need them. I don't take them every day, and I don't take full doses necessarily every time I take them. I have also just been referred for more physiotherapy, partly because my calf muscle, which again, that'll be in another video, has got really tight again since some surgery that I've had on it, and also because I'm getting quite a bit of pain in my ankle and stuff. So I'm going to be having more physio with that, and I've just been referred to a pain clinic who are specialists at treating CRPS in the hope that I can avoid having to take as many painkillers as I do currently. So there are actually a few drugs that can be used to treat CRPS, but these aren't actually what you would consider painkillers normally. A lot of them are anti-epileptic or antidepressant based. They're not painkillers in a sense, but because of the way that CRPS is a problem with your nerves overreacting, they can sometimes help people. However, they can have quite horrible side effects, and at the moment it's difficult, but I can function, and I didn't really want to start taking drugs on a regular basis that would interfere with the life that I have at uni. So at the moment I can go out, not that frequently, but I can go out a few times every term. You know, I just have to pace myself and be aware that it's probably going to wipe me out for a day or two. But on a lot of these medications you can't drink, and that sounds rather selfish, but because I could theoretically have quite not a pain-free life, but a much lower pain level, but I would rather sacrifice that and be able to have a usual uni experience of going out with my friends and drinking, because going to clubs is sober is not fun. I've done it once or twice and it's really not fun. I would rather sacrifice that and have a more normal uni experience than to be on drugs that you can't come off suddenly and you can't drink on. So I couldn't even take them for 5 days a week and then come off them at the weekend so that I can drink and have fun with my friends. So at the moment, unless my pain gets worse, I'm not planning on taking these drugs, and that's partly why I've been referred to the pain specialist clinic, so that I can have what they call a personal pain management program, which are specialised programs designed to help you function better with your level of pain and to reduce things like painkillers, reliance on like medication, that kind of thing. So I'm going to try and use that first before I start resorting to these drug treatments. So like I said, there's no cure for CRPS, so a lot of people can develop a lot more long-term problems, but for a lot of people like me, you can have a somewhat normal life. Like I say, my life is not that normal, but I'm at uni, I can go out with my friends, I can thrive being in this environment. But there's nothing wrong with the people that have more severe cases of CRPS either. But for me, obviously, my CRPS is pretty invisible. If I'm wearing clothes, you know, if you couldn't see my feet, people don't realise that I even have anything wrong with me until they see me on my crutches, because I can't either tolerate having a shoe on my foot, or I've overdone it one night and I actually can't walk because it really hurts. So I think I just wanted to do this video to A, raise awareness of what CRPS is, because it's a rather unknown condition outside of the chronic illness community, and also to raise a little bit of awareness for the people that are still managing to live more normal lives with having this condition. I'm incredibly lucky of how localised my pain is. It isn't even in one whole leg like some people might, like quite a lot of people's. I don't have any severe spreading. I've been referred to a pain specialist and all of these things, which will hopefully get me into a more positive outlook with my condition. But at the same time, my disability is completely invisible, especially to people at uni. It's definitely, because I got diagnosed with this condition a week before I came to uni. So I was still learning to cope with it when I came to uni, so I only really knew what was wrong with me just before I came to uni. So I just wanted to raise a little bit of awareness for this condition, and especially for people that have it and have it invisibly. So that's all for today's video. It's probably been really rambly. I definitely went off on like a complete and utter ramble at the end here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've raised a little bit of awareness. I hope I've explained what CRPS is. Like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and leave me any comments below if you have any questions, especially about CRPS and living at uni with a chronic condition. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.